Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Plantz4mationz. I apologize. I was just keeping these two fun ladies to myself here. We were just chatting, and I'm like, we need to get started because we have our awesome audience here. Muriel in the raw, thank you. And I shared the walnut lettuce taco or whatever that was. It was good looking, whatever it was from your show with Muriel. She loved it. And Carl, hello. Thank you for joining, and everybody else that is watching that hasn't quite commented. I have two very special guests here with me. You may know them from so many things that they do, but Plant-Based in the Burbz is where I saw them for the first time. And I'll just read like a quick little thing here for each of you. And I know I could go on, but I'll try to shorten it a little so I can let you guys tell us a little more about yourself. But Paige Parsons Roache is a producer and communications director, social justice campaigner, exudes an impressive career spanning over 3 decades in communications, promotions, public relations, and marketing, while consistently demonstrating her ability to elevate the visibility and impact of various nonprofits organizations, such as UnchainedTV's global streaming network, the Vegans of LA Food Bank, and Los Angeles Animal Save Plant-Based Treaty. She's also is a city campaigner to the Plant-Based Treaty in Los Angeles, as well as produces and co-hosts along with Sherri Johnson, the cooking show Plant-Based in the Burbz, plus a live talk show, Let's Chat, along with directing a film featuring 4 youth climate activists. She also teaches compost, that's right, I couldn't get that word out, repurpose courses for all ages. I did see you on Marakita's show doing that, teaching us before. And Paige's guiding philosophy is collective change is possible if we all take personal responsibility. Let's do this. And Sherri Johnson, a certified personal trainer with over a decade of experience as a plant-based nutritionist and an accomplished entrepreneur with a passion for empowering others through wellness and style. She holds a BS in business management and founded W29 Activewear, maybe 29, sorry, a brand combining style and functionality to help women look and feel their best. The W29 activewear has been worn by inspiring figures like Tabitha Brown, I love her, Jasmine Duke, showcasing the brand's commitment to style, comfort, and confidence. Her latest venture, Penny Bees, offers classic home-style pies with a plant-based twist inspired by her grandmother's cherished recipes. They are already making waves, I bet. I want one. Being sold plant-based restaurants. Her pies are already making waves and are being sold. I already said that. And a dedicated leader in the plant-based movement, Sherri co-hosts Plant-Based in the Burbz. I want to sing the song so bad. A cooking show featured on UnchainedTV. She also co-hosts Let's Chat Live, a talk show that shines a spotlight on change makers in the vegan community, inspiring others to adopt a plant-based lifestyle together with her husband. She's launching a new podcast. How does she have time to do all this? And shares her journey as a plant-based couple, their journey as a plant-based couple, their insights and passion for a compassionate way of living. I am like so excited to be here with both of you. I told you I could have went on forever. I was like, I tried to shorten them, but I didn't want to miss anything. So welcome, ladies. Thank you. And now I was just talking about maybe my age is showing because I couldn't quite see the screen to get out some of the words. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you. And thanks, Kelly, for joining too in the comments. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Donna in Bend, Oregon, Donna Benjamin, for introducing us. Jen, we're excited to be here.
Oh,
thank
awesome.
you for having us. Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I was just going to ask, like, I know you guys have done so much in the vegan community. Like, where did all of this get started? I know that could probably be a whole episode in itself, but like, where did you guys both get introduced to plant-based or vegan living?
Go ahead, Sherri.
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead, Paige. But, Paige and I been knowing each other for a very long time. We worked in the same gym. She taught boot fit classes, and I was a personal trainer. and she became a client. And that's how we forged our relationship. But we didn't know that we were turning or going vegan or transitioning to a vegan lifestyle at the same time. We had no idea. It was like, it just happened. And from there, I don't know, I guess we could finish that page, but from there, Paige was active working with Unchained, right?
Not yet, Sherri.
Oh, no,
I mean,
that's right. Go ahead.
also,
She's taking it way back.
I think what's important is your Daniel fast, because I think that makes it so unique.
That's true. You're so, see how good she is.
I was noticing this. They basically know each other better than they know themselves. I'm like, that is not just for the camera there. They really do get along.
When you were reading my bio, at one point, I'm like, oh, she's talking about Sherri. Yes, yes. And then you said something else about me, and I'm like, oh, this is
that's me.
I love it.
Okay, so yeah, that's right.
Okay,
so the reason how I got on the track to become vegan is the church I was attending, every year they have a fast. And you were able to write down whatever you want on this long sheet of paper. So you just go and then you make that commitment. So I made the commitment that my husband and I were going to do something really, really challenging. We want to get rid of meat out of our diet for 14 days. Okay.
He may not have been as excited, was he?
No, he was not excited at all. He said, like, could you pick French fries or something like that? But after the 14 days, I felt really good, even though I was still consuming animal byproducts. I wasn't consuming the meat. So I still had like dairy in my diet. I still had chicken broth, things like that. But as I started to feel better about myself and in my body, I started to learn more. And then I saw the documentary, What the Health. I think that was the first one. And with me also in the Game Changers being in the fitness world, that changed a lot of the myths that people believe that they have to consume so much protein in order to create muscle, and that you can't live on a plant-based diet and be strong and viable.
Well, obviously, we can see that's right. Big muscles. I'm just kidding.
Right. And I think Paige and I'm going to let you take it away from their page, because then we found out, I don't know how we found out that we were doing this together. I mean, at the same time.
Wasn't there a gal also who was vegan or plant-based that was one of the trainers? Because
yes,
I feel like we were talking about it, and you're like, oh, so-and-so said such and such. And I was like, well, Caitlin just went vegan, like, vegan, like, well, vegan, okay. And I was kind of like, now what? Now she's gonna disrupt my life, like, what? I gotta cook different things.
It's all about me, right?
And I think you and I were like talking about stuff. You're like, well, I haven't been, I think you mentioned it. And so then it was like we were already starting to kind of talk about it in the mix between us. And at the gym, there was kind of like, it's like, I think we were rounding the corner. Yeah, because I went vegan in October. I had no idea. And I was quiet for a minute. I was like, I'm messing up. I know I'm buying stuff that has, I don't know how to do this.
Right.
I was making mistakes. So I was not sharing with people that I was vegan yet. I wasn't running around going, I'm vegan. No, I was like,
change the world.
Do this. And I think I went to an event, honestly, I'm going to call. I went to an event and I heard people talking about how people weren't vegan enough or whatever, like leather shoes and cars, leather, and like, oh my God, I'm so busted. I'm not part of this club. I'm just going to be over here trying to figure this out and make a ton of mistakes.
I'll do that now. Like, I'll look at old pictures of when I first, like, I was calling myself raw vegan, but I was probably wearing a leather hat or something at the same time. Like, I didn't know. Like, I feel like every year something evolved, and I'm like, oh, that's not vegan.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So then I'll take it from there, Sherri.
Yep, thank you.
We'd go downstairs at the gym. We had moved to a new location, and we were downstairs, and there was this new fruit juicy bar with like fresh juice. So we moseyed on down there. We're like, fresh juice, cool. We meet the guy. We go down a couple of times, and I think it was like the second or third time. He's like, what's the story with you two? And we're like, what? We're laughing and having fun, and we're like, oh, let's get that juice and let's get this juice. And Facebook had just started like really the whole thing was happening. You could go live, and I figured it out. I could go live on Facebook. Oh, interesting. So we kind of just took our camera and went live on Facebook, goofing off, being super goofy. I don't think even Instagram was a thing yet, because no, we didn't figure that out for a while. This was back in, I mean, I went vegan in 2015, so this must have been 2016. So I didn't meet Jane until 2017, because I think I went to a Veg Fest in 16 and didn't meet her and get invited to Lunch Break Live until 2017, just to like back us up a minute. And then you and I were still kind of
figuring it out,
having fun. And somebody said, can we send you look fun. Like, you look fun. I like your Facebook stuff. I'm like, okay. Can we send you some product? I'm like, okay. So they send us product. Can you talk about it on your stuff?
Destined to be famous.
And I was like, so I go over to Sherri's house. We set up a little tripod. Our phone. We don't even know how to turn it. I'm like, okay, go push the button. Let's run and then run back.
Right.
Wait, I think I can do it with this clicker thing. I don't think we figured that out. I think
we didn't have a clicker. We didn't have a clicker then.
She pushed play. We hope for the best. The camera's over here. We're hoping we're in the frame, and we're eating shroom meats. These
that's
products made from mushrooms. For real. This would have been 2016, 17, right? Anyway, and we called ourselves, because I like the name. Oh, that's it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Say it again. Say it again, because you went out.
Shift show.
Yeah, she called it the shift show.
Yeah,
I said, are you sure you want to call it the shift show? Because if you say that too fast.
Right.
How about the
like something else, right? We've all heard that other show. I've been part of it.
Anyway, so we decided to go with plant-based in the Burbz. And actually, at that point, I was already working with Jane Velez-Mitchell, and we were calling ourselves the Shift Show. And I remember saying something to Jane, yeah, we've got the Shift Show. And she goes, no.
She wasn't going for that.
She goes, what about something about you being in the suburbs? What about something like that?
Yeah.
And we decided to go with plant-based because, you do make mistakes. I mean, I think we're both, but we want people to know that if you make a mistake, it's okay. You're on your journey with plants. So that's kind of how I'm talking a lot, but that's how we came up with that. And then we put the Z on the end for fun, to make it.
And the Z,
like that's Burbz.
And what's interesting is the reason why we end up getting, I guess another reason why we started the show, because remember, every time Paige was the producer for Lunch Break Live, right? And that was a show where she would have people come on, they cook from their kitchen. She would videotape them before COVID. She would go to their location and videotape them. But whenever there wasn't a guest, she would always reach out to me and say, Sherri, are you available? Can you be on Lunch Break?
We went live 7 days a week on Facebook, and we would have thousands of viewers, tens of thousands.
But I see why, because look at your personalities. Like, I can't stop listening to you now.
It wasn't us, though.
It was other people.
It was other people. But when Sherri would get on or we get on, we would banter. We would have some fun. And Jane and I would go in the kitchen, and Jane would have, everyone who knows Jane knows, the camera on the stabilizer would be like this. In your face. Anyone that lives in LA or any nearby vicinity, or you come down Los Angeles, you'd have that stabilizer in your face. Get closer. Down in the sizzle. Anyone watching?
It was amazing.
It was fun. Those are good times, because that was when it was Jane Unchained, and they're still really good times. I'm just saying.
It's just it was so raw then. It was very raw. It was very raw. Yeah. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun because there was a lot of bloopers and things like that, because Jane is really a hilarious person. And, working with her in that intimate space is hilarious.
I know.
So
And the three of us together.
Ladies, before we started, I was like, all I could do was keep singing plant-based in the Burbz.
Oh, okay.
Sherri promised to tell us how this.
Okay. So the thing was, remember we were at my house, and we were, I guess we were getting ready to film, and Jane wanted us to dance. I don't know if you remember. And so she was the one that kind of made up the song, and not her. And what's the guy that always came to our show? Tony. No, he lives at
Adam.
No. He was always a guest, and he came up with saying plant-based in the Burbz. Boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Tom.
Tom!
Shout out to Tom.
Shout out to Tom. And
Tom.
Tom
I'm
was
gonna send this to you, Tom.
Tom was always a guest. He always supported us all the time live. And he said, "You guys need a song."
That's
and then
true.
when he started that plant-based in the Burbz, then it took on. Jane just would do it all the time, and I was like, "Okay, is this really going to be our song?" And of course, it is. But that's how it came about, something like that. You know, Tom started it, and then Jane took it on, and then here we are.
That is awesome. So just one little piece of it. Can we do it real quick? Plant-based in the Burbz. Plant-based in the Burbz.
Boom,
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 dancing too. I love it.
It needs like trap music behind it, like a little, like we need like
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah,
I like it. We have to get Dawn does garage band. I'll see if she can
make them tune.
So was Unchained TV, like Jane is part of Unchained TV? Was that when that started, or was this still on Facebook? The whole thing.
So Jane Unchained News Network was the name of the whole shebang, and it was like a news operation on Facebook Live. So when Jane left CNN and Headline News, they basically said, "Take your social with you." She had 1 million followers in the space of different things, right? And at the time, I don't even think TikTok existed. No. So it was.
What happened?
It was like,
I think she froze up a little.
2015. What happened? Can you see me?
You froze up.
CNN cut us off. No, I'm just kidding.
Am I good?
Okay.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Continue. So Jane started with the Facebook Live on Facebook and called it Jane Unchained, because she was now unchained from the mainstream news, which is what she started doing when she graduated from NYU, I believe. She went into the news business. She got a job in the weather and then just grew, climbed the ladder till she was at CNN, working with Nancy Grace. And then she took over the show. And then she had something where she was doing rescue like stories here in Los Angeles with KCAL News. And anyway,
she's a big thing. She's a big thing.
Yeah, big thing. Jane Unchained. So she has like a Wikipedia page. And then a few years into it, I came on board, others came on board, and we had these citizen journalists who were volunteers all around the world going live on Facebook, doing different things about animal rights and the vegan space. So they would go to a restaurant and it'd be like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so from Saratoga, Florida, and we're going to check out this vegan restaurant." So we had 70 contributors at one point, and we would have Zoom calls and we'd have parties and we'd do all this kind of stuff. It was very thriving. Then we did the first season of New Day, New Chef with a producer who is an Emmy Award winning producer who had made connections with connections with Amazon Prime. So the first season of New Day, New Chef, which is a cooking show, was put on Amazon Prime. From that, it's a lot of backstory. From that, Eamon McChrystal, the award-winning Emmy winner gentleman, he had connections to people who make streaming, who make apps. And next thing you know, Unchained TV became an app, and then it became available to download free on your television as well.
On Samsung, everywhere.
And at the same time, back in 2020, 21, and 21 was the beta testing of it, and 22 was kind of the launch. 21, 22, right in there. We shifted my position because nobody was on Facebook anymore. There had been a lot of stuff behind the scenes that had happened with Facebook, a lot of trust issues and things. There was lots of stuff that came out. Wall Street Journal did a whole thing on all about what was going on. And then the elections had happened back then. Yeah. And then we were in a lockdown. So a lot of people
watching.
It was a lot, right? We've been through a lot in this little lifetime.
I think about the last 5 years. A lot's happened in the last 5 years.
Right.
So people would just, even though they were watching content, they could get it more readily available on Instagram, shorter form, and Facebook was coming down.
Yeah.
Even though I no shame on Facebook. I'm a long time follower. You can look back when I became, because I still post there. I'm all about it. Lots of people in there that I engage with, and I'm grateful for Facebook.
I love Facebook.
Yeah,
I can't see
right.
okay.
That's how we met. Like through the we were messaging each other. Anyways, make a long story short, they decided to come up with UnchainedTV and make it a streaming network. And then I worked as the communications director to help on the launch, the public relations launch, and acquiring content. So I spent about 6 to 8 months, well, actually more like a year, acquiring content, just asking people, who had a film and who had and, would you be willing, like, you can have the rights, you can have it in multiple places, but would you want to put it up on this new streaming network? And because of Jane's name and stuff, it was a little hard to knock on some doors and invite them in. But at the same time, that's what you do. And now it's like people are knocking on her door. May I please have my content up? And she's always looking for great content of well-produced product that's ready to go. She doesn't have a budget, much of a budget, I believe, to pay people to make content. So it's a matter of good content coming through that way. So we have 10 cooking shows. We have season 2, the first one just up now. We have 8 from season 1, and now we're in season 2. We're going to have some kind of a fun little launch situation, hopefully in this new year. But I really want to give, I've been talking a lot. I want to give this over to Sherri because
I'm just all into it. I'm all in it.
I love it. I love hearing like the backstory. I'm glad you caught us up because that was a good memory. And like I thought UnchainedTV, when I heard about it, I was so excited. I was going through the house like, there's a vegan TV network. We're getting big around like veganism. And I said, I thought it was because the animals were like unchained. Like, I don't know, like in my head, it's so funny when you hear like the real story. I was like, in my own mind, I just swore it was because they were unchaining the animal. I don't know.
I love that too.
I'm gonna let Sherri
that's a great way to think it. Yeah. A way to think about it. Because it is true in a way too. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes,
you can have different meanings for things,
Also unchain our mind from
ways
to think. That's another way to think about it too, because we're just very dumbed down with information and we're brainwashed to think certain things until the opening. Like, thank goodness for my daughter at 13. Like she was like, this series to her, I'm going to get busy looking at this. And obviously, Sherri, say more about the experience for you, because you could have gone back to eating animals. You know what I mean? After the down effect. Like, what was that for you?
I mean, I don't know. I think seeing some of the documentaries and then doing some education, because being around Paige, I learned so much from her because she was doing a lot of other things. She's an eco vegan. So she would walk around in the gym, come in with this basket, showing everybody how to get rid of plastic. It was just a whole thing. Like she in a way educated me on some things to make me look a little deeper, to see what I can do in a way. Maybe I'm not out in the front doing my activism, but I can do it in my own life, and then being an example for other people to see that this is the way I live and I'm thriving. That's a great way for me to do my activism, and people can see by leading by example. So that's kind of what I do. And as I started to learn more, just like you both were talking about our clothing, about the things that we put in our skin, it really gets really deep. And when we don't really, people are so unaware that a lot of things that we use on our body that we shouldn't, and a lot of things that we wear, we shouldn't, because they don't understand the harm that's caused to those, to make me look so fly in my leather jacket. You know what I'm saying? So those things that we have to really think of. And it's hard to, make those adjustments when you're so used to wearing things and not thinking of it. And so I think that's one of the things, the way I like to do my activism. And once I start learning, like Paige said, it's like what people say in the Bible. I don't know what the quote is that when the scales fall off your eyes, now you're able to see more clearly about really what's around you. Like, we're walking around right now with blinders, and people say this is what we need to do, and so we're going to do it. And if we don't do the research to find out for ourselves, then someone can just say, jump in the hole, and we'll all jump in the hole. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, we have to do our research. And so I think really it was the best choice for me and for my husband. I have a young son who's also vegan. He was pretty much more vegan than me because he said he was getting rid of eggs. I remember saying, "You getting rid of eggs? How are you going to get your protein?" Because I was caught up in that myth also of being a trainer that we need to have so many grams of protein a day, which we do, but it doesn't always have to be animal based. So I think those are the things that, you know, I mean, I'm just so happy that I made the shift, and I'm happy that I have a sense of community, and that we're also able to teach others that if we can do it, and it doesn't even matter what age you are, because you can start at 80 if you have to, you know, and it's just really thinking about taking care of your body and not doing harm to others that are God created on this planet. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't know if I'm rambling, but that's what I
love it. I love it. Because I think we all like entered into it in these little unfolding pieces. And I think I love the message that you ladies send, because you're like, I want to help people put more plants on their plate so that they don't feel overwhelmed. Like some people just cut off right away and like, I'm done. No more meat, no more dairy. I'm good. But a lot of more of us come into it in a slower progression, or we might see something or hear something, or, you know, and then it kind of unfolds. So like, you're not scaring people away by like, you know, learn everything at once. I love that.
But you know what? I was one of those people in the beginning, because it's like, you know how you just become fanatic, because then you're like, everybody needs to be vegan now.
I know. How many friends unfriended me, speaking of Facebook? I guarantee
that.
And then on that journey, then you learn about the reason why we're in this in the first place is compassion. So if I can have compassion for animals, how come I can't have compassion for my fellow human beings that don't know the journey, and may, you know, I can help ease or give them information or just give them love and say, look, maybe you can get rid of eating animals for one day and throw more food on your plate, you know, or maybe you can get rid of dairy. Think about, most people are lactose intolerant anyway, so we really don't need to be consuming that in the first place. So maybe I can get rid of my dairy, which we know cheese is more challenging for everyone, but I'm just saying those little bitty steps, those little bitty shifts, you know, can make you become aware that, oh, wow, I want to hold it without that. I actually can do this, right?
I didn't collapse after one day of no meat. I can do this, right? That's what we're all led up to believe, or brought up to believe.
I want to show off my pop socket, right?
Yeah.
So this is the organization Support and Feed. And I just came off of tabling last night at Billie Eilish's. It's her mom that started this, right? Billie Eilish, the musician. I was helping last night at the concert. So out in front, they have what's called the Eco Village. It's like Eco Action Village. And there's different organizations that they activate with, that people can sign petitions and for, just different things, right? And the pledge for Support and Feed, it's the organizations, the main person who puts the whole thing together is Reverb, and they go to all different kinds of concerts and do eco villages to educate all the attendees, right? Okay, Support and Feed does a 1 meal a day for 1 month pledge. And I saw people last night go from no way to, oh, I might be able to do this, to, okay, I will. I'll sign the pledge. I'll get my pop socket. I'll go enjoy the concert. And the next thing you know, they're going to get an email in their inbox, and it's going to have lots of support from Support and Feed of how to get more plants on their plates. And it was so amazing to watch people literally transition, all ages, from no way to, maybe I could do it. And I started to hear some of the volunteers like myself say, try for a meal. And that really worked, because if people don't think they're allowed to even try to get into this tent, they feel like if they're not all in, kick them out. That a lot of people, we're human beings. We don't want to fail at things. We want to be successful at stuff. And if we're going to change our diet and start putting, different things on our plates, like we're going to, like, are you saying I can't have my burger? Oh, but wait.
Yes, you can. But you can.
You can have, and the thing, they have this ginormous jar full of water, and on the outside it says animals, right? And then they have a same size jar and it says plants and there's this much water in it.
Oh,
And
to
the
show
other
you
one
the
has
difference.
this much water in it, which brings me to my reason for overnight I'm going for it, is I watched Cowspiracy, which was an incredible movie for me being an environmentalist already. I was saving fish from getting straws in their noses, but I was eating sushi right after I would clean the beach. And then I was also
Funny, like we don't connect any of that. Me too.
and then I
Like, what in the
also
world?
was like enjoying the cheese and dairy and now thinking about that it was mother cows that have to drink all this water, tons of water, and they have to be given food that has to have water to grow. And we're in the state of California. We're in a drought state.
We're drought.
We're any minute. Like they told us no lawns. You can't have lawns. You got to change over to sustainable. I'm glad. Now it looks like Palms. It looks like the desert here. It looks like the desert in a lot of the suburbs.
In
now
some
in
places,
California, it used to be perennials. Your flowers die, you go buy new ones. People would do that, right? They would just go buy new ones, put flowers, everything looks cute, replant all the time, and no more because we're a drought state. So I was blown away when I learned about the amount of water. It's like 6 months of showers for a burger. Now I wasn't eating burgers, but that pepperoni on my pizza, I didn't know what it was, but it wasn't an animal. I don't even know.
Of course not.
It tastes good. So I wasn't thinking about the pepperoni being pig parts or body parts of any animals or anything. That was just good. So there's a lot of things that I think Sherri and I, we do try to really think from a place of like, because we have a lot of family that are not vegan yet. And so we'll bring a vegan dish to something. They'll eat it. They'll love it. They'll enjoy it. They know that we're vegan, but we're not into shoving it down.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, we froze again.
Yeah. Hold on, Paige.
Down anyone's throat.
Okay. You're freezing. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
I think we knew you were going to say shoving it down their throat, though.
Yeah, and then we're committed to figuring out how we can all get along because again, we have lots of family that we love. We love them dearly. We're not getting rid of our family.
Yeah.
Right.
Not.
You can't.
So we got to figure out how to get along. If they're not yet here, but if we can be the ones that when they're with us to have more, because we also care about their health. Speaking of what the health, we care about our friends and families' health, and heart disease is one of the number one killers of human beings.
Diabetes.
That is because of cholesterol and diabetes, and there's so many now. There's just so many diseases. And I don't know if you want to talk more about that, Sherri.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of know most people who are in this community know that when you shift your diet to more of a plant-based diet, that you're reducing the instances of having heart disease, diabetes. So we're talking about high cholesterol, we're talking about blood pressure. All those things are a factor on what we eat. We already know that diet contributes to that, even the amount of sodium that we put in our body. And that's like when I tell my clients that most of my clients are not vegan. And so I have to always try to educate. So look, if this is what you're going to consume, you need to turn over your package. Look at the package. You want to get a meal that's under 500 milligrams of sodium. For each meal, the minimum should be 1,500 milligrams of sodium. And so you need to start turning over your packages and reading them, and making sure what you see in there you can pronounce and it's not going to do too much damage to your body. And we know sodium and sugar can do a lot of damage to our body. And so, so that's one of the things that I try to share with my clients, and also share, what I eat. Like if I'm making, because I'm always cooking something, and I always share what I'm making, and they want to know what's the recipe, because it's all about educating everyone and making sure that they are in a space where they can try it, and make that decision, because we all have to make the decision on what we want to do. We have to make the decision if we want to work out every day, and you make the decision and make that commitment. The same as getting up early in the morning and I want to journal. I mean, it's the commitment that you make. And if you're not willing to make that commitment, then there's no need of pushing it down anyone's throat. You know what I mean? So it's your choice. But we do know that you can save your life or extend your life by choosing a plant-based diet by exercising at least a minimum 30 minutes a day. And, you know, and I have to say, cooking at home, whether we really want to do it all the time, the majority of our food should really be cooked at home, because now we know we don't have any hidden fats in it. We don't have any hidden salts or sugars. We know what we're putting in our food, and it's just more nutritious that way. Now, I'm not saying don't go out, because I like to go to a good vegan restaurant. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just saying, you know, those are things that we have to start getting back to, because fast food made it so that we can pick it up quickly. But look what it's doing to our body and to the population.
Yes.
Right. So.
Don't knock us off the line there, bud. Let's stay over here. He's getting ready to walk across the keyboard. You like that? You like that we don't eat animals, don't you?
Yeah.
Do it for Neo if you're not going to do it for us, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to say, so, okay, you went on this fast, and you kind of came in for environmental reasons, but when did you guys become, like, did you just learn how to cook, or did you, like, because now, like, you guys have the show where you can cook so well. I'm like, I thought, you know, were you already a chef and you just kind of transitioned into plant-based food, or?
No, you know, we were just mothers cooking for our family. And, you know, once you decided to make that shift, now you have to think about all the foods that you enjoyed when you were consuming animals. How can I make them vegan? Because I still want to have that same experience and those same emotions when I eat my grandmother's sweet potato pie. You know, I want to have that same taste and satisfaction. And so that's when Paige and I, we just start experimenting. And as we grew, I guess, we got really more creative with picking selections of recipes and learning how to cook raw, like, you know, Paige did the raw tacos, the walnut meat. You know, we learned a lot just from a lot of chefs that are already existing and recipes existing online, and then you select one and make it your own. So that's kind of how I really cook. You know, I mean, I always cook because we cook for our family, but I'm just saying, the vegan cooking was, you know, it's an experience. It's something new, and it's creative, and it's fun.
That's amazing.
Well, I'm going to say, I think she's not giving herself enough credit, because she told me that she was in the kitchen from when she was young with her grandma in the kitchen. Mom and her grandma cooking food. And I think your grandma even tasked you at a young age to, like, you and your sister go to the grocery store, get the groceries, and then come home and figure it out or something. So that is definitely not how I grew up. My mom would open the can, peel off the thing, and throw it in a pan, and then here we go. Until she started when I was in high school, she started getting fancy. Stuffed Cornish game hens and, like, all kinds of stuff you couldn't pronounce, and lamb, and, like, I just think about all those animals. We would eat rabbits, and it was fancy food. It was horrible. I was like, but I wasn't changing yet. But some of it was horrible. But she always seemed kind of in a hurry and flustered. So I didn't enjoy the cooking experience. And even as a mom, because I was working, I've always worked as a mom, as a stay-at-home mom. I always had side hustles and side things and, you know, different gigs while I was raising 2 kids. So I noticed I was doing that too. And I was like, oh gosh, no. But we got in there and have some fun. Pizza making night, right? Throw down the dough and then roll it out and pour the sauce and put all the toppings and stuff like that. So I tried to incorporate the kids into my cooking experiences, as I realized that's fun. That made it fun, because otherwise they were kind of in my space, and I'm like, no, let's go, let's do this together. You got a little butter knife, cut the veggies and stuff like that, you know. And so then I think by the time, I mean, really, like, thinking back to 2015, my son was in lacrosse. He was playing hardcore varsity lacrosse. My daughter was riding horses at the time, and she was an equestrian. So they both needed protein. They both needed to make sure, and they both were in school. So I was like, okay, I don't know enough about, are they going to be smart enough? Like, we have enough.
Right. We don't know
smart, like,
go into this, right?
Like, how do we do this? There's so many things I didn't know how to do. And I was like, I want to be the best mom. I was a label reader when it comes to the dyes. And I also stood on the streets and requested, when we were all about labeling for GMOs, which didn't pass. Did not pass here in the United States, but I was out there on the streets marching for it. Like, please let us do this, vote for it, So I had some information about being healthy, but I also believed a lot of the things that were told to me, like low fat and low sodium and all the labeling that's out there. That's
fake.
It's really marketing.
Yeah, fake.
So,
yeah.
Fake marketing, yeah. And it's green and it's
2,000 grams of sugar in it, but it'll say like high in fiber or something.
Right.
healthy, high in fiber, but it has all the sugar. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, of course I was buying the sustainable, humane, kindly raised, not to have any feelings when it dies, all that vibe that I was being told.
I bought into that too.
All
It's
those
horrible.
eggs,
oh my God.
Grass fed.
Yeah, grassy fed, and you're doing the right thing, person, by buying this product, and you don't see it until you see it. Then when you really see it, you're like, wow. And that's when we both said, we got to let people know about this. And then we just like being together, we enjoy. And then it turns out like Jane was creating content and we're like, well, and I think we kind of was a natural progression because we were, on Facebook, we had some followers, we had some regulars, we were watching our shows. And kind of a natural progression to turn it into these 8 cooking shows and then 2 more for the new season. And they're only 7 minutes long. We'd go on for a full half hour. We were 5:30 on Wednesdays. It keeps popping up.
Every Wednesday. And
we created like a promo. We put it out to people. We're coming on. And every Wednesday we would have to come up with a new recipe or something to entertain people. And sometimes I'd literally be like, we'd both be like busy doing all of our other things. She'd be training clients and everything. And I'd be running around doing whatever. And I'd come in and I'd be like, what do I open up my fridge and be like, what am I making today?
You know what was so cool? I don't know if you remember this. So we were doing some cooking show. I don't know if it's still up. And Paige wanted to cook something in the blender. And I don't know what happened. She forgot to put the top on the blender and the stuff just went all over the place. And it was so hilarious. We had so much fun.
Sometimes things are fun in the beginning, like when you look back on it, even if it was stressful at that time.
It was stressful.
It was so much fun. It sounds like you guys had. I love hearing
it was a lot of fun.
Figured out.
It really was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it when I look back. But when we were in, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to make? Oh my God, it's 5:30. I got to get everything together, So
it's 5:15.
I can remember one time we had a show and I turned on something in my house to show them how to cook and it blew out all the fumes in my whole house.
Or like all of a sudden the Wi-Fi would just drop out. And one of us,
it was just crazy.
One of us would come back in and be like, because we were on StreamYard, it wasn't StreamYard's fault, but all kinds of
all kinds of weird stuff happened. But it was so funny and it just really, when you look back, it was really, really, really fun.
It's so cute to talk about.
That's hilarious. I love it. I'm like picturing that blender thing.
It was. And then we had to do the blender dance. That was Jane's thing. When the blender came on, we had to dance and
blender dance. I love it. I'm gonna be doing the blender dance now with you too. I'm gonna make a smoothie just so I can do it.
That's right.
When you're talking about, okay, so you were fit in the fitness and then like you still, do that, but and then also now like you have 2 other brands and Paige, you're working on a bunch of things. Like when did that start to shift for you? Because I notice it sometimes happens to people I interview, like you're into your regular, like, day-to-day job, but then it kind of shifts into like more of a plant-based or vegan passion, I think too. So like tell us just about like either one of you start, like what else are you working on right now, or what else do you do as far as where we can find you?
Yeah, I of course I'm still a personal trainer. I recently became a certified plant-based nutritionist because every 2 years you have to continue to education, and I thought this would be really beneficial for me to help clients and those, even my family. So I'm really glad I finally got that taken care of. But I started my brand W29 as I was working in an all women's gym. And being a trainer, I always had my phone on me because, clients sometimes would text me, but I never really had a place to put them. So I decided that I would create a brand that had pockets. And that was back. This brand has been out for a long time. So we've seen our ups and downs, but that was back in 2015 or 2016. And W29 is named after my mother. My mother's name is Wanda, and she passed away from a brain aneurysm at the age of 29. And so for me to keep her alive just to keep her alive, W29 is something that I resonate with. Not only does it remind me of my mother, but it also reminds me of women and how strong and resilient we are, and that we need to maintain taking care of our body. So I think we lost her. Maintain taking care of our body. So I created this brand. It's cut and sewn here in Los Angeles, California. And so that was the first thing I segue to. I had something before. I'm just a serial entrepreneur. And then I always baked sweet potato pie. That was something that I just liked doing. My grandmother made, and my mother-in-law made a really great sweet potato pie. And so I just kept practicing with it. And I had a friend who really, really liked it. And, I just had the opportunity to be able to put it in a restaurant so other people can have it. And it's just something I'm really passionate about. So I like to cook. I have that love-hate relationship with cooking. I like to say I don't really like to cook, but I'm always in my kitchen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So like you can't get away with not.
Yeah, it's like I'm in there.
Don't let that happen.
Yeah, I'm just in there. And how do I stay in there? I stay in there all the day. So I have that love-hate relationship with that. And so those are the two things I'm doing right now. And plus working with Paige, one of the joys, hanging out with my girl. And we also volunteer at Vegans of Los Angeles. Winter Hunter has a vegan food bank that's every third Thursday of the month. And Paige and I have been really diligent in supporting her. And Paige supported her in other ways as well because she has those skills. But that's another passion of ours, to make sure that we're helping people who have food disparities, is that how I said it right, are needed to add a little boost to the groceries that they already have. And it's really, really a joy to be able to be a part of that. And so that's kind of what I'm doing at this moment that I can think of. If I forget anything, I'll come back, but I'll let Paige.
That's a lot.
It seems like a lot, but it's enough time.
Things too, because
I'm sure.
We were talking about that earlier. Like when I was reading the bio, I'm like, you ladies are just like doing it all here. So that's.
Well, I actually want to bring up Tabitha Brown too, because when I saw her recently at the Hey Sunshine Kitchen, she said, "These are the people we were with. There was just a few. These are my original vegan friends." And she was talking about you and I, Sherri, too, because we met her in 2016.
We sure did.
She was in this room with maybe 30 people, small room, and it was called
either Anonymous or something, right?
It was Carnivores Anonymous.
Yeah, Carnivores Anonymous.
Previous carnivores, like if you're, AA, you're alcohol.
Right.
Carnivores Anonymous, be put on by Vegan Spirituality, and in Defense of Animals. I think they were also part of it because Marilyn led it, and Lisa. Anyway, so we're in this small room, and I had heard she was coming. I was like, Sherri, let's go. And so, that's kind of it. Sherri, let's go.
We did. Let's go. We did. And I said, okay.
That's our relationship a lot.
It's a lot.
And when she, I'm just.
Let's go, Sherri.
Sometimes it's like, we're going to this, and she's like, why are you dragging me too? And sometimes it's like, wow, we're sitting in this room with Tabitha Brown. She's telling us about her mom and her story about her mom leaving her coins. I think it's dimes.
I've heard that story. I love it.
I know. And so, and then she blew up literally like the next year, meaning like just her.
Yeah, she did.
Just been one thing after the next. But she had already done her TTLA, her live, because she was sitting in the parking lot. Just real quick, if you don't know this, y'all, sitting in the parking lot of Whole Foods. She had just gotten this tempeh tomato lettuce salad sandwich. Sitting there, no makeup on, in her Uber, right?
Yeah, because she was Ubering.
Ubering, and she gets up on there and she gets on whatever, I think Facebook, and it's like, this is the best sandwich ever. Well, it went viral, to say the least.
Oh my gosh.
Whole Foods.
Are you kidding me? I didn't know that's how that happened.
Look
Yeah,
it up.
and then they hired her to be like a spokesperson for that
Yeah. And to help
TTLA.
some recipes or something like that. I mean, just so much has happened now. She's branded, this, that, and the other. So mind you, Sherri,
She's a
W29,
marketing guru. Yeah, huh?
is a marketing guru. She's got a great team. She's doing a lot of great things. So mind you, Sherri, W29 comes out and we see her. Oh, we get invited to the grand opening of the new restaurant partnership that she had. It's now only in Chicago, but they branched out and did Los Angeles for a minute. So we went to that, right? Isn't that where you first maybe talked to her about W29? I think maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. And then something happened where it never happened. It
Right.
just didn't happen. And then we ran into her at
Street fair.
the street fair, and she came up to me and she said, "Well, when are you going to send me your pants?"
And then they were like back and forth with the PO box. Well,
yeah, I couldn't figure out where to go because she's local, and I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I went to the wrong place, And finally, she gave me the right address. She's just really a lovely, lovely person. I mean, what you see is what you get. Yeah. And she wore my clothes, and it just really made me feel super special, And then Jasmine Duke is the Diary of the Mad Black Vegan. She is now, I think she's in DC. And she also promoted it for me, which was really beautiful. And I'm kind of late on catching things sometimes on Instagram, and Paige would say, "Did you check out such and such and such?"
She's that friend that's going to keep you up to date.
Right? But yeah, so that meant a lot. It meant a lot to me.
Sherri's line, I put those pants on and I feel like, okay, first of all, they're very slimming. Let me just say
they are.
I like the high waist. And then for me, so it's a little high waist. And then because I have a short inset. Anyway. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this. So that's what happens. It's the transformation from hell no to
hell yes.
These on and I can do this. You know what's funny? It's kind of like this.
Yeah. Oh, now she.
Oh, I got you right. Where they just they weren't going to do it, and then they.
But then they're going to do it. Yes, exactly.
They weren't going to do it, and then it's like, just try it. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, I got these on.
You're amazing, though.
I'm gonna go walk.
I mean,
then Sherri has just 30 minutes, which is totally that mantra has stuck with me since you started that whole just 30 minutes. And like Sherri's telling me, just get out there 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going walking. Just 30 minutes.
Yeah. So what I do, I usually, since COVID, I've been working from my house. So most of my clients are on Zoom. And so when I have that break, even if it's just 30 minutes, I go out in my backyard and I work out for myself. And I post it on my story every day when I work out to motivate other people to know all you need is just 30 minutes. If you're just walking, even if you're dancing in your house, or if you're cleaning your house.
I'm hearing this like at the right time. Muriel is here, and we just had a meeting right before this. Didn't I tell you that I need to start working out, and I should plan it for my lunch 1 to 1:30 every day, or whenever my lunch break is? And then the universe brought you guys in here talking about that same thing.
And that is really my mantra. Now, some days I have those days. We all have those days. But we know that if we just do any type of movement, because that's what our body is made to do, is to move, then it's going to be important to our health, right? But you do want to make sweat. You want to promote sweat. You just don't want to be walking your dog. Walking your dog and talking to someone on the phone. You have to be present and intentional about what you want to do with your body and what your goals are, or what you're trying to reach to, as far as your health and your fitness. You want to be able, when you get a certain age, to pick up your luggage. You want to be able, if you fall and you hurt your leg, that you can drag yourself somewhere, or you can pick yourself up off the floor. Those are the things that I think about when I with my clients. Is functional movement and things that we can do that help save us. I'm not saying be a supermodel, be super skinny, doing all these things. We want to be able to have strength, to do the things that we need to do to help us or help others and just feel good in our skin.
And I'm back training with Sherri. I had an interview. I'm not teaching I'm not teaching 10 classes a week anymore. And I retired that business, and I was injured and I wasn't working out, and I was laying in bed and I was getting miserable and depressed and everything. And then, I'm up with Sherri getting that in, and it's hard work. I mean, she has us doing all kinds of things from burpees, jumping jacks with squats, and it's happening early in the morning here. It's dark. And
It's all-
fly keep it down, and then everybody wakes up, and it's a whole vibe. But I feel like by 7 o'clock, 7:15, I'm like, wow, I just accomplished that. I just made
That's amazing.
that happen. I did that 3 days a week. And
Yeah.
that's a commitment, and as best I can get there. So yeah, it's really something too. There's just 30 minutes to know you're doing 30. Obviously, if you can if you can go further and you can add more weight, like now I'm doing 10-pound weights. I was only doing 5 when I got back into it. Now I'm doing, I'm ready to, and sometimes, Sherri, I'll grab my 3 and then I'll make it the 13. I grab my 5 and now I've got the 10 and the 5, and I'm like, okay, I've got some 15 going here.
The thing is too, is what's so cool about what Paige is talking about is that group it's a group of women. So you have a group of women that, everyone is there. It's that friend, that camaraderie, that motivation, knowing that they're getting up at just as early as you are, and everyone is showing up and they're doing the work. And I'm telling you, it really is like the best thing you can do for yourself. I mean, it just hands down, it really is the best thing to do to work out every day. I see Mona. Yeah, I have high waist ones too. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, and then so everything is on sale right now, and I am going to promote another sale. So I'm going to add another 5% off. My mother's birthday is on December 20th. And so on December 20th, which I'm going to be doing that today, is we're going to add a little additional discount just in lieu of my mother's birthday celebration on December 20th. So that's what I'm going to do.
Happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear of her loss, but I'm so glad she's inspired this amazing brand.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Everybody head over there. You can find all the W29 everywhere. You can find it on all the socials and Instagram. And
we'll link it in the comments too.
Okay, beautiful. 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 Yeah. Uh-oh. Paige. Let's see. Paige.
You froze again.
You froze.
Come back to us.
Uh-oh. This might be
already left to go get her sale price.
Let's see. Where is she?
Am I here?
Okay, you here?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Can y'all hear me?
Okay, cool. Yes, we can hear and see you. That's great. Yes.
Am I back? Oh, perfect. Can you see
yes.
me? Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to say I just became a city campaigner for the plant-based treaty. I wanted to just share this really quickly because it's really cool. This is a guide for people. We talk about a new plant-based plate that's got guidelines with iron and calcium. We break it out in protein, right? It's all here, how you can get your plant-based. And we go on to college campuses and we talk to the students about having more plant-based options on their campuses. So we ask people to endorse the plant-based treaty. That's one of the things that we're doing. Is once you sign, you basically just sign that you want system changes for more plants available, right? Most people don't realize that the government is subsidizing the meat, dairy, and egg industry.
Right.
They're not subsidizing the plants. And so the plants and the price of plants is going up because you got the healthy food that we all know it's not being subsidized, but that's changing. That is changing. I will say that. And also, so people can take action by just, if you go on to plantbasedtreaty.org and sign. So you can sign yourself, you can sign your organization, you can sign your company, your business, as many signatures. There's over 250,000 signatures so far. And celebrities like Paul McCartney, Stella McCartney, Maggie Baird, Billie Eilish's mom. There's a list. And cities like West Hollywood, California, Edinburgh, Scotland, Brampton, that's the name of it, in Canada. So multiple cities, that's saying they're going to commit to making more changes for more plants. So like in the city of West Hollywood, they made a commitment for more plants to be the plant-based default at their events. So it's just plant-based and you have to ask for something. You know how we have to ask for it to be a vegan item or a plant-based item, things are turning around. So this is happening globally, the plant-based
I love
treaty.
it.
I'm really happy to be part. We have a thriving team here in Los Angeles. I'm in the San Fernando Valley, so we've got some things happening here in the San Fernando Valley. We're acknowledging all the restaurants that are already vegan by giving them this. You know, we are 100% vegan business, so they're putting this decal, and then sign it, the plant-based treaty. We've included so many plant-based restaurants in different initiatives. In fact, I do have to say this is really cool. I've been a climate activist for years, right? We talked about that. And for the first time in Los Angeles, in the summer, was the Los Angeles Climate Week. A whole week.
That's right.
And the food was plant-based. The whole thing. And there, yes. And in fact, Jane Velez-Mitchell was on the steering committee. They had asked her, and also Cesar Acevedo, and I think Samantha, she coordinated, I mean, the stuff that was coordinated, I helped coordinate a march and a rally that happened in Santa Monica with hundreds of people there. And they marched for the oceans, for waking up about more plants. And, you know, the interesting thing is it does bring up live your values, you know, save animals. So it's like really 3 tenets: fight the climate crisis with your fork. Love that. Live longer, live healthier, feel great, right? So people, and then live your values, save animals with every bite. Ooh, I love that. So those 3 tenets are powerful. So anyway, I started with that, and I'm working on all kinds of things with that. It's a daily, and it's really fun. I'm enjoying it. And then we have our Let's Chat show.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Oh, we got to
take it away. You got it.
Oh, okay. So Let's Chat is a show that we do every Tuesday, and we invite people on, like I said, change makers, people in the vegan community. We want to hear their story, how they got there, how can they inspire others who were maybe on the fence, and also what are they doing? How can we support them? Is there any way we can support them? Whatever they're doing, and it really it started off with what's in your bag.
What's in your bag, Sherri?
Right. So we would do makeup, like pull out makeup. What's in your bag? And we'll pull out vegan makeup or whatever we have in there to show people that, you know, it goes across the board with not just food, but other aspects of your life. And then Let's Chat happened, and we started getting guests, and it's really been a great journey, very organic, just like this here. And we met some amazing people, and I love that very much.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where can we find that one? Is that on?
Go ahead, Paige.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's on Instagram, and then some of them we've put them over onto TikTok, and then we have aspirations for lots of things for the new year. So we'll figure out. And we both are very, very busy with a lot of things. We kind of make it a fun thing, but it's on Instagram, and we've been linking when we can and do it. Take the link, and then we put it into Facebook so people who are on Instagram can tap on the link and find. But you're looking at the team here. There's no marketing team.
Yeah, it's just the 2 of us.
I'm going to share it too. I'm in. I don't. Also, like the plant-based treaty, all of this, I think I've got some of the links, but just make sure we'll have them all in the description after this so we can get your awesome clothes. We can sign the treaty. We've got lots of homework here, and we're going to go find Let's Chat and Plant-Based in the Burbz. And
thank you so much.
It's all done. We got this.
You got some shows to watch.
It's awesome. I already know what I'm doing. My whole evening is gonna be like, chopping vegetables. I'm gonna be watching that.
It's so weird when you tell us to send the bio, and then I'm reading the bio and I go, "Is that me, really?"
Right.
I'm doing all this stuff.
Wait a minute, let me share my real bio. I worked 9 hours exhausted. I'm on Facebook trying to do this, and I'm rushing around trying to get the cat off the desk, trying to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not leave without hearing about Charlie and Sherri's new podcast that's coming out in the new year. I want you to share. This is so exciting.
Okay, so my husband and I, we like to jump on social media every now and then and just talk about whatever we're doing, you know. And my husband has a show, which it'll be tomorrow live on Instagram, called Medical Minutes with Chaz. My husband works in the medical field, and he has a show that comes on, and he brings on medical professionals to, you know, explain things to the audience, or maybe if they have questions, they'll be able to ask the whoever the person may be. Like it may be a neurologist or a gastroenterologist or, whatever. And then we decided, okay, we called ourselves We Are the Johnsons. And so we would get on and we'll talk about our children. We have two grown sons. So we may talk about being a parent, being a vegan couple, and the experience you have when you want to go out with your other friends and they're not vegan, and the things the concessions you have to make in order to have a social event, and just whatever comes to our mind. And so my youngest one said, "You guys should make a podcast," and we're like, "Huh?" And so that's what we're going to be banking on. Yeah. So we'll hopefully have that set up for 2025. We just got to figure it out because it's just the two of us. So we're trying to figure out how it works, but we'll get there. So that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It.
So, and we've been married over we've been together 34 years or something like that. So that's another thing. We'll talk about relationships and, how to sustain a long marriage, and things like that.
You're doing something right, and we need to all listen, right? Because, and I'm sure you figured things out along the way. So I love,
of course,
the show, right? Like to hear how everything unfolded, just like how you met and everything. I'm sure you'll go over that, but I'm like, oh, this is gonna be exciting. All your stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a fan. I'm just gonna be like binging you guys.
I love that.
You're like, there she is in the comments again.
Okay, there she is again.
Ever since
with all the support and if we can inspire people, that's kind of like what our main focus is in the first place. It really isn't about us, but what we can do for others.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the cool things about when I saw you guys, even if I've seen you on other, shows and things. And like I said, I think I've seen Marikita had you on, and it was just the I don't know, I guess I'll use her word, magnetic energy too. You guys are very first of all, hilarious. So I love that you get along and you make it light, because I think things can get so serious in life, especially when we first become vegan. And, like you said, you're worried, am I going to do this wrong or that? It's awesome to see you guys having fun and cooking and, and just really enjoying the lifestyle as you learn it, and then your knowledge of, fitness. You both worked in that industry. You both have the environmental, things going on. It's it's amazing that, you even took a minute to come on here on my little channel. So I appreciate you both. I'm so excited that we got to hear the story. Even got to hear the story behind the song too.
Maybe it's that we've reached a point in our journey of life. I think this is something that's just really hit me recently. I have, the next chapter is here. It's and I plan to live a good, strong, hearty with my husband too, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think it's finally I kind of don't care anymore, really, if somebody approves of my decisions to do what I know is right for me. In other words, I have aligned my values system with my actions now. So I don't need anyone's, I think as I was growing up, there's this sense of approval and competition. I'm not competing with anyone. This is me. Take me as I am. And I think that's what I really resonate with Sherri. We laugh, we have fun. It ain't easy. Sometimes we get lost. We're late. We, things happen. We really commit to being on time. But sometimes things, we're just laughing because we went to the food bank and we were minutes, just minutes behind. And, the lead's like, well, welcome, lady. Good evening, ladies.
He said,
we're in trouble, right?
Yeah, he said, I said, good morning. He said, no, you mean good afternoon. I was like, oh my God. We're like, so sorry, we're late.
Anyway, so, but I think the bottom line is that at this point, and if I could inspire anyone out there with our message, is please align your value, your actions with your values, whatever that is. If composting has been something you've been thinking about, reach out to me. I'll tell you how simply it can be done. You don't have to go make soil. You just need to take those food scraps out of the trash, which I took the plant-based and the Burbz song, and I do the same thing with take your food scraps out of the trash, take your food scraps out of the trash, boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom.
scraps out of the trash, take your
That's
food scraps.
that's what I had seen, and that's what composting is repurposing things. Is that right? That is so cool. How easy would that be for most of us to shift to that?
Real quickly, when you put your banana peel in with your baby diaper or whatever trash you have, we cause methane stinky gas. That's why it's stinky in your trash. My trash ain't stinky. I don't even know stinky trash now because
Luckily, I don't have any diapers.
You
Me
take
too.
You don't have diapers, but you know what I'm
I got
saying.
a litter
Whatever you
box
got,
now.
plastics and whatever, right? So when you take the banana peel and other food scraps out and put it into the what they call the organic space, it's going to recycle into soil. That's the idea of it. But if you keep it in the landfill, y'all, which is so simple, but we just aren't taught this, then it causes the stinky mess and the stinky, which causes methane, which is a huge problem with our climate crisis.
Climate, yep.
I mean, we're the ones cooking. We're the ones, doing all this. It's not the little children who need us to make the right shifts. So, I know Sherri's composting now.
Yeah. So, Paige inspired me too. And I bought a mini compost to sit in my kitchen. And so whenever I had food scraps that can't go in my garbage disposal,
right,
I put it into the can. And then here where I live in Los Angeles, they had a law where you can put your compost in your green trash can here. So when at the end of every week, when trash day comes, I just take my stuff, dump it in my green trash, bring the little can back, clean it out, and start all over again. So it's not really like it's not really a big deal to do it because all you're doing is lifting it up and putting it in something like a jar. Like a space when she first started, she didn't have one, and she just used to put it in a mason jar, right?
Yeah, jar like that.
Yeah, and just dump it. So it's just the small little things that we do can make a big difference for our planet. And not only that, with our clothes, like we have all these clothes that we're giving away, we need to make sure that we don't throw them in the trash, that maybe we can give them someplace where people can actually wear them so that it doesn't become waste and then shift over to some other country. Because I know that when I was in Africa recently, a lot of waste comes up through the ocean and plastic comes up onto their shore, and they're constantly cleaning because I don't know where it's coming from, if it's coming from the West, from us, or if it's coming from Canada. I don't know, but they do end up getting our waste. And I know there was a documentary that talked about how our waste goes to some other place, like a different country, and comes up on their shore and makes a problem. So we really have to be aware of what we do. And look, I'm not saying I'm great at it because I still make mistakes just like everything else. But if I can make that conscious shift to be mindful to do it as much as possible, then I'm helping in a small way. So it's just really about all the little things that we do that can help save the planet for our children, grandchildren, and just have the planet in general, right?
Yeah. Just because we can't do everything.
We can't do it. Yeah, you can't do a little something.
Right. And if you think about it, we're billions of people on this planet. And if I say I can't, then there are billions of people that say they can't too. It's not happening. But if I say I can, be thinking about what I'm purchasing, like you're saying, Sherri, about am I purchasing new clothes? Am I purchasing fast fashion? Am I repurposing the clothes I'm not wearing anymore? Am I donating it so someone can use the fabric? Or, like you used to make those wrist wraps from jeans. I was like, oh, I got jeans for you. Fantastic. So there's people who are doing really cool things. It might just take an extra step to find out where to repurpose something. But instead of it's going to go away somewhere, guess what? Away is affecting other countries. Away
out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah, but it's not. We dump our trash goes into someone else's life and becomes their issue.
It becomes their issue. That's correct.
Yeah. So it's like taking that personal responsibility, which I like to say, to make a collective change is how we make the changes. Is when we say we can make an impact and we start making those shifts and changes. Then collectively, the 9 billion or however 8 billion people on the planet, things start to shift, and things are shifting in a good way. I like to focus on the positive too. And of course, there's the negative. You're like, oh my gosh, we have so much work to do. But at the same time, I can't do all the work.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, just that little part. It's like putting a puzzle together. There's so many pieces, But if I can find one piece and make it fit, so I'm a winner.
Reminds me of momentum, like what you were talking about, the 30 minutes of working out.
Right.
And what you're talking about is just get a little, jar and start putting things in it. That builds momentum, because maybe you do that and then like your algorithm starts bringing other things to you that you can do, and you start seeing things and you become really into it. Like,
absolutely.
like 7 years ago, I didn't even know what the word vegan meant. And now I'm doing a show about, inspiring change from veganism. So I'm like, wait, you never know, that little piece of information, that little documentary can lead to this. So I love that you guys just like do something little, that's
the ripple effect,
message.
as they say, the ripple effect. You throw the penny in the water and, it starts off, and it gets ripple and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, yeah. So,
okay. Can I say one more thing, please? Just one.
Because I'm good.
This is the last little piece.
Last thing, because we will talk forever.
I know, so will I. So you got to cut me off too.
So, yeah, there's no way. But here's the other thing, is that I invite people, because there's a lot of people, and I'm one of them, that we kind of hang out in the same corner or the same neighborhoods, right? I invite people to stretch yourselves into other communities. And the reason I say that is I have now stretched myself back into the environmental community. It's been a minute, because I was kind of mad at them. I'm like, how can you be an environmentalist and still eat meat? Like, how can you still consume animals if you're an environmentalist? Haven't you seen Cowspiracy? Well, no, most of people haven't seen Cowspiracy, Paige. It's a small portion of people. It's a lot of people, but no. So I started to put myself in those situations so that I'm just, and not with the intention of, I got to get them to go vegan. I'm like, where do we connect? How do we match up with our similarities and so forth? So in other words, I'm attending more things that maybe don't have food on the table right at the event, because that's kind of stressful for me. If there's like a bunch of, dead animals on the plate around at the buffets and stuff, I'll either stay away from those. But anyway, my point is to hang out with people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. Maybe people before you went vegan that you hung out with. Start hanging out and get to know what they're passionate about, because you might find that you're connecting on passions, and then the next thing you know, they're asking you about veganism, because it's safe. You're not trying to get them to go vegan. You're just connecting as human beings. So I think we've kind of lost the okay, we can find commonality over here, and maybe we can share space and share love, and we can share connection with each other. And I think I want to bring connection back. How can we connect to find similarities to connect? And you may vehemently oppose a lot of things that they've done in their lives, right? But is there some way we can connect as humanity to bring more love forward?
To spill that over instead of closing off. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. Be more open.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a great point. And social media can kind of do that, because at least Facebook, for me, I've got friends on there from when I was 10 years old, and, friends, maybe a lot of vegan friends that I've met recently. But when we put something out, I think you're right. It's important to, there's different messages and ways we can put it out, but the compassion, incorporating that into it as of, here, look what I'm doing and I'm excited about, like you said, that's a good way to kind of gain their interest without pushing them away. I like that. That's amazing.
And also being interested in what they're interested in too. It's like drop the guard of, I got to get them to go vegan, and being interested in them and listening to them in a new way. So thank you, Jen. It's been so amazing.
Yeah, it has. I love it.
Thank you so much, both of you. And if you can if you want, like, before we close out, because I have to remember that I'll talk forever, especially when I have like nice, inspiring people on. So it just to, like, if you want to go over really quick, any closing thoughts or where we can find you, so that, and I'll have everything linked, of course, but if you want to say it just one more time in case people didn't hear it. I mean, not that they couldn't rewind, but okay, I'll stop talking. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you can find me at Sherri on Instagram, Sherri Johnson on Facebook, Sherri J on TikTok. So it's pretty much my name. Plant-based in the Burbz with a Z. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. and then Paige Parsons Roache on Instagram, and what's the one?
Talk Dirt with Paige.
Talk Dirt with Paige, which is, it's a great place to learn about your composting and,
Oh, I get it. Okay.
It's cute, right? And Paige Parsons Roache on Facebook. Did I forget something? Oh, and you finished that last part.
All right, so we got UnchainedTV. We got our cooking shows, Plant-Based in the Burbz, and it's with an S over there, but we got it with the Z now, so it's all good. But UnchainedTV here, boom, 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 and if you go into UnchainedTV, you can actually write our names, and you can see we have a search. You could probably catch some of those old blooper videos.
Oh my God.
Old stuff in there. It's like,
well, definitely, I'm gonna be checking those out. I was like, if we compost on Facebook, I don't know. I was just
oh, that's cute. I like that. I like that.
Once I get my little thing set up, so I can show you, like, look, you changed me, because I need to really get better with the environmental, efforts. I feel like, but hey. Work in progress, right?
Work in progress. We're all work in progress. We're all work in progress.
We can talk. You can always reach out to me. So anyone out there, feel free to reach out and we can help you. I've helped a lot of people figure it out. So good. All right, everybody. And just 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. Get active with Sherri.
Get moving. Don't forget to go to W29. Check out my gear.
That's right.
Like I said on Friday, we posted today. By Friday, there will be additional discount. So you need to nab them, while you can, while they're in stock.
Love it. I can't wait to check it out. Maybe I'll be wearing one.
Yeah,
next time I come on.
Yeah, because you got to get moving, young lady.
That's right, and that'll help me. That'll inspire me. I'm like, I'm already wearing the gear. I got to do it, right? Like when you buy a bunch of healthy food. All right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate this. It's been an amazing time hearing about your amazing Plantz4mation. And you guys, if you have anything you ever want to promote or anything you want to talk about, just definitely reach out. I would love to have you guys on like every day, but I guess I'll give you a break and maybe whatever.
Well, thank you so much. This has been really fun. Really fun.
It's a blast.
Thank you. Thanks, Mariquita. Appreciate you. Thank you, Muriel. Thank you, Mona. Carl, thank you for being here. Did I miss Mona? I said Mona. Yeah, I think I got
Kelly.
Everybody.
You got Kelly.
Kelly, thank you, my friend Kelly from Canada. I always just call her that. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. But Mariquita, thank you so much for introducing us to Paige, or that was my first introduction to these ladies. So I really appreciate that. And that's funny to watch how things unfold. Now they're here talking to me. So thank you. I appreciate you both. You have a great day. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.